Meeting is being recorded. So welcome to everybody. Grateful to have you here. Several Ellicott items. Before we get started, when time comes that you want to make a comment, we ask that you come to the podium to make a comment at the microphone. We ask that you state your name and your address for the meeting minutes. And we ask that you limit comments to 3 minutes. Once your item is over, you obviously can depart. We just ask that you depart quietly so we can continue on with the meeting. So with that, we'll move into first agenda item, approval of minutes. So we have no minutes from last meeting, in which case we'll move right along. Item number 2, do any of the commissioners have conflicts of interest in any of tonight's agenda items?
No.
And I do not either. So item number 3, approval of findings of fact and conclusions. We have 3 of those. Have all commissioners had opportunity to read those?
Yes.
And you have any corrections? We had a couple of typos that were identified in our pre-meeting, and we'll get those corrected. In which case I'd ask for a motion.
Chair, I make a motion to approve the findings of fact.
All right, have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, finding of fact and conclusions are approved. And agenda item number 4, Can-Am Logistics, conditional use permit. And applicant is here tonight, so we'll have you come up after David Rogers gives us a staff presentation.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this item is a request for a conditional use permit approval to allow an auto sales office in the MG zone at the address 4350 South 500 West for Can-Am Logistics. So the site is just under ½ acre with an 8,500 square foot building. It is located in the MG zone, and all of the surrounding properties are also located in the MG zone. So here's the floor plan. As I kind of discussed in the pre-meeting, there will be office space, which will be the sales office, an area for some servicing to happen to the vehicles, along with warehousing and parking for both vehicles and for their customers, though the majority of vehicles will be stored off-site. So here is the site plan. You can see the access there off of 5th West and the parking stalls, which do meet our standards of 9x18, both on the exterior and 2 parking stalls on the interior that you access through one of the bay doors. They needed to have 14 total stalls. They have 12 outside, 14 inside, so staff, they meet our parking requirements. So here you can see a little bit closer up, you can see where the parking stalls will be along with the interior ones. There is a requirement that the parking area needs to be striped as a condition of approval. So that is one of the conditions that we have. For landscaping, so our landscaping requirements based on the length of the property is 2 trees, 3 5-gallon shrubs, and 7 1-gallon shrubs. And they currently show 2 trees and 7 bushes. So the applicant is going to work with staff to make sure that the landscaping meets our code requirements as a condition of approval. So for public notice, 10 notices of this meeting were sent to property owners located within 300 feet. And as of this presentation, staff has not received any public comments via phone calls or emails. For our findings, the proposed use for an auto sales business is allowed in the MG zoning district subject to conditional use permit approval. With the conditions as outlined in the staff report, the proposed use and property will comply with the standards of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance, and the proposed use is not contrary to the goals and objectives of the Murray City General Plan in this area. So based on our review, both as the Planning Department and other departments, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an auto sales office at the property addressed 4350 South, 500 West, subject to the following 6 conditions, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Anybody have any questions for staff? All right, thanks, David. All right, would the applicant come forward, please? And state your name and your address.
My name's Kyle McMullen, 170 South Main Street, Salt Lake City.
And have you had an opportunity to review these recommendations?
Yes.
And can you comply with them?
Given some time to get it done, yes, we can comply with them.
you have anything else to add to the staff report?
The auto repair is speedometer desk type work only. The auto sales, the business is changing the title from a foreign title to a U.S. title. It's a Department of Transportation contract. Department of Transportation requires that the office be in an area approved for a auto sales, so that they think that we can sign the document correctly. I don't know why, but anyway, they require it, so that's why we're here with that conditional use. Otherwise, we would be in an office building someplace. With the availability of the open space in the warehouse, we may bring a few of the nicer vehicles that we buy out of in and run a internet sales campaign on those. There'd be 4 or 5 of them that would be inside waiting for a sale. We'd invite you all down to see what happens to be there, because some of them are really nice vehicles. But anyway, that's it. The striping of the parking, we need to redo portions of the asphalt and then seal parts of it. So the striping has to be delayed until, or we'd like it to be delayed at least until after the asphalt is redone, just so we don't have to do it twice. And then we have to deal with our tenant on the landscaping, because the tenant is going to be there for potentially another 2 months before they get moved out. And that's about it. Any questions from you?
Yeah.
Is your storage yard in Murray as well?
No, it's in Magna, 7400 West, 201 Highway, on the south side of the 201 Highway. And when the vehicles are imported, then they're brought in on a common carrier to a yard, and then they have to be in a fenced, secure yard. I think they call it quarantine for up to 30 days. And so we transact somewhere between a few hundred and 800 vehicles a month, depending on what other people are doing. And so there's 5 acres of parked vehicles out there, and they just roll over every 2 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how long it takes to get the paperwork cleared.
Have you done this before?
Have we done it before?
Yeah, this type of business,
We've been doing it for 20 years.
in which case I'd ask you, so who are the clients? Are they individuals or are they companies?
Well, primarily the Can-Am Logistics will buy a few vehicles and do it and bring them in themselves, but the majority of them are independent used car broker dealers who have connections into the Canadian market primarily. Some people have connections into other foreign markets, and they will then buy the vehicles there and ship them into the United States. It is in order to make it feasible, there needs to be a favorable tariff relationship or a favorable currency exchange rate or some other favorable availability of vehicles in one location versus another in order for it to work. Quite often the difference is after all the expenses is, $1,000 to a few $1,000s a vehicle in additional potential profits for the broker dealer.
Anybody else?
Yes, so I'm just curious about the business. So you typically you buy these brokers buy the cars and you import them here and then you resell them to end users, consumers here in the States? Is that, and what kind of cars are they, or vehicles?
They're primarily pickups and large SUVs. They're all operating vehicles. The ones I like are the ones that are a year old with 500 to 1,000 miles on them and with leather seats and all the bells and whistles. But some of them are 10 years old and they've been rode hard and put away wet. I mean, they're that's my dad's saying of the way we treated a horse. But anyway, the business model is that the broker dealers have the ability to buy in the foreign area. They have to bring them in, and then the transfer of the title has to happen to make sure that there are no recalls on the vehicle, that there's no lender claims on the title, and that the signatures on the title are all correct, and that when and then the form of title gets changed from and the form of the documentation with the vehicle gets changed from Canadian, as an example, to US, so that if you go to the used car dealer to buy the car, unless you track it down with Carfax or something like that, you have no knowledge of what happened to the vehicle. And it's not a branded title, it's not any restrictions on the title, it's just that it has to go through that process in order to meet the regulations of the Department of Transportation.
Are these American branded vehicles or?
Typically, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And as example, there are times when the Ford factory will manufacture cars out of Detroit, and there'll be a line right here that's going to the United States and a line right here that's going across the border to Canada. And the parts are coming in exactly the same. You and I could never tell the difference. So, yeah, and it's really, they are the same vehicle.
Are you the owner of the building here and the yard you mentioned?
No, I'm the real estate agent representing Preserve 104, which is owned by Jim Sandmeyer, who's sitting here in the office, or in the congregation, or the group, whatever you call back here. And then Can-Am Logistics is also owned by Jim, as well as Speedo Pro. So those three entities are involved. The owner of the building right now is Dean Zekas with Western Sales, Mountain West Sales, over on 39th South and 5th West,
Thank you.
or 3rd West.
All right, wonderful.
And no more questions? All right. Thank you.
We're educated now. All right, I will open this agenda item up for public comment. And we haven't gotten any previous public comment. Anyone in the audience like to comment, whether you're interested or not? That's great business, never heard of that business before, so. All right, no public comment, we'll close public comment and bring it back to commissioners for any additional discussion. Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion.
Chair, I make a motion to approve a conditional use permit to allow auto sales office at the property address 4350 South 500 West, subject to the following 6 conditions.
All right, I have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion second, any additional discussion? David will ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kling,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Chair Hacker.
Yes. All right, congratulations, welcome to Murray. Look forward to coming and visiting your business. All right, agenda item number 5, land use text ordinance amendment, sign code amendment, and applicant here. All right, we'll have you come up after Zachary Smallwood gives us a staff review.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, this is a request from Alicia Knapp with Colliers for a text amendment to allow wall signage on multi-tenant buildings. Currently, our text requires that if there is a multi-tenant building that has shared access between all the different office users, that they are not allowed wall signage. The ground floor units are not allowed to have wall signage on their building. As you can see here on D 1 and 2 and 3. So I worked with Ms. Knapp to consolidate that a little bit. We see this happening across Murray already, and has happened in the past. The sign code had a large rewrite in 2019. This is something that honestly I didn't even know really existed until we had deep dived into the code a little bit more. Ruth actually found it. So, and I was like, wait, this is a thing? I didn't even know this was in the code. So, we worked with Ms. Knapp and I worked and came up with, I think, a pretty simple solution, which was just change it to removing that multi-tenant building section and treating everyone the same. So, yeah, that's the on the left is the how it's written today. On the right is the deletions, and then this here is what it would look like after if it is approved by the city council. So I wanted to show a couple examples of how this is already kind of existing in Murray. So you can see in all these photos, these are all multi-tenant buildings that share access. I'm questioning myself more on the Donor Connect one. I actually think they have an entrance out onto that parking lot. I don't think it's a shared entrance. So, but the remaining of them do have shared access into the buildings, but you do see some of them have signage above them or right there on the ground floor. I know for certain that urgent care is located on the first floor because I have gone to certain urgent care. So I just, in my opinion and in staff's opinion, we believe that this would be an overall better use, allow for more signage, but also maintaining that there are standards that would limit the amount of signage that's on a wall that is located. I believe we talked about that. It was about 20%. I apologize, it's not in this little section, but it's about 20% of that wall can only be covered by signage. So that will limit the amount of signage that's allowed. So if somebody's able to claim 20% of that on that first, I don't even think you can really. But on that first floor with the sign, then that's all they get. So we did send out public notices to the affected entities, and for sign code specifically, if an sign operator has requested to get notice, we are required by state law to provide notice to them. So 3 large sign companies were also noticed, but we have not received any comments. So here's our findings, that we do believe that updating the sign code allows for broader applicability and easier for the general public to understand and apply. Continuing to review and update development standards furthers the city mission of guiding growth to promote prosperity and sustain a high quality of life. The proposed text amendment has been reviewed to ensure the health, safety, and general welfare of the community are maintained, and we find that it doesn't conflict with any recommendation in the general plan. So we are recommending that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions for staff? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, applicant, would you come forward and state your name and your address for the record, please?
Hi there, I'm Alicia Knapp. I live at 1995 East Parley's Canyon Boulevard, Salt Lake City.
Do you have anything to add to the staff report?
No, I think that covered it pretty well. I'm a real estate agent representing a tenant with a lease out for signature. The tenant looking to put a name on the building is Utah Cancer Specialist. So it's a company, a business that just wants to be able to be found in a multi-tenant building and recognized from the street and grow brand recognition.
I think it's a good thing for the city. So, any questions for her? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, no previous public comment. Anyone here? Well, I guess I'll have to open this agenda item for public comment. Anyone like to comment? All right, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the commission for any additional discussion or a motion.
I do have, you gonna make a comment, or?
I was going to make a motion, so if you have a comment,
Oh,
go for
yeah, I
it.
have a comment. So, I am concerned about where this heads in terms of wall signage. Perhaps I don't completely understand it, but it feels to me like we could have stacked signage of all kinds of designs and so on. It would be very difficult to enforce. That's my point on this.
We're not increasing the amount of frontage that can have signage, though, correct?
That is correct. We're not increasing the amount of signage that can happen, just the location.
Just who can have
Who can have
signage?
signage and the location of that signage.
So there's no increase in this text amendment.
So it's the same 20% it was before, it's just we're including first level, and that they can put it on that first level.
Correct,
the-
so,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, what were,
No, as I understood it when we were reviewing the images in the pre-meeting, and then again now, was that theoretically Toro, we could have multiple Toros across that frontage as long as it was adjacent to the office space.
not exceeding 20%
When you say 20%, what do you mean?
of the building
Of the
frontage,
entire building?
of that wall of that
Of
building.
okay, so
Yeah.
it could be the front wall, the side wall. what have
Right,
you.
so, and each one is 20%.
What do you mean each one is 20%?
So each wall face, so
The total area of the total square footage of that wall, the entire wall,
yeah, so let's
is
say one.
limited, so there can only be so many signs within the 20% of footage of that.
Correct. So if you had like a building that's, has 100, it's like 100 feet wide squared, right? So each side is 100 feet. And it has two frontages on streets. It's on a corner lot, let's say. Each side, so the two sides that face the streets are allowed 20% on this wall, 20% on this wall. And no more. It's just allowing the people that are on the ground floor to now have signage where they weren't allowed before.
I guess I understand your comment. Because I look to the past and the staff and wonder if there is really an issue with signage. We've had plenty of discussion in the past about signage, and that's always an issue when there's a new building or a new tenant perhaps, so. I guess I'm not sure I think there's gonna be an issue in the future. So. Any other comments, thoughts? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Chair, I motion that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for the proposed amendments to Section 17.48.140, standards for signs that require a permit.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion? Zachary, I ask for a roll call vote.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Kling,
No.
ooh, hold on, Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hacker.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, motion passes, so that will go to the Murray City Planning, or Murray City Council for their recommendation and action. When will it go there, Zach? Next
Thank you.
meeting?
What?
When will it go to the
Oh,
city council?
so once we have minutes drafted, we will send that, a request over to the council.
Okay.
And we'll be in touch with the applicant to make sure she's available for that.
All right. Okay, item number 6, land use text ordinance amendment, city center form base code amendment. So applicant here, great, I'll have you come up after Zach is finished with his staff presentation.
Perfect. So this is actually more of a co-application with Rockworth Companies and Murray City. We have identified, Murray City staff has identified a couple changes that we wanted to make as part of this, that we identified throughout the code, or as we were implementing the code. As part of that, this was all kind of planned. We kind of had mentioned that when we adopted this, that we would probably come forward with some amendments at some point, just because it was, 100 and something pages long. Reading through all those, it gets a little messy at times to make sure we're covering everything. So I'm going to go in easiest to most complicated. So the first one is the change in an approved site plan. So this is if an applicant comes forward and they want to change something on their site plan or, on their building, if they're currently as it's written, it pretty much says the exact same thing for changes less than 10% and changes from 10 to 20%. That was not the intent. As you can see, it was almost word for word. It says just by CED staff. That wasn't intended. What we recommend is that leaving the less than 10% as just being reviewed by planning staff. Nothing really needs to change on our end. We just make the change at like the building permit level or what have you. However, if an applicant is changing something on the site plan and it affects the area from 10 to 20%, then they must go to come to us in the planning division and have a written decision made by the CED director. So that's really the only change there. So the next change is to bicycle parking requirements. There was a missed decimal point when we originally had this drafted. We believe it was in a previous draft. Also, what we found was in the consultant's working draft. So I can kind of give you a little bit of history. So this was pretty much used from Midvale's form-based code as well. They used a lot of the same language and text, and there's showed 0.05, and at some point that was transposed and put to 0.5 spaces. That resulted in a lot higher bicycle spaces than we had intended, and yeah. So we are recommending to move that over to just moving that decimal over. So it's 0.05 spaces per bedroom, not unit, but by bedroom. So those are staff's recommendations. So those are the ones that staff has moved forward with. This next one, which is the primary entrances for building types, that was requested by Rockworth and supported by staff. So currently, as it says, it states, primary entrances for all building types shall be located along the front street facade. What we had found specifically is that every apartment unit needed an entrance out on to 4800 South and onto Hanover Street. And for safety requirements and things, Rockworth had said that they would prefer to have the interior entrances. There still will be balconies and things on the outsides of those units. So how we worked with Rockworth on this is that, because we obviously want to make sure that this is not just broadly applied and that everything is turned inside, right? We do want that street engagement. So what we came up with is that the ARC may allow an alternative residential entrance type if those four conditions are met. The units are accessed from a secured interior corridor, connected to a structured parking facility, and the building type maintains an active pedestrian-oriented streetscape as outlined in the code, and the primary entrance to any residential building meets the entrance standards for the building type. So, as an example, this was what was shown as you were approving the Block 1 development. This will not change that. They had never shown entrances onto 48th or Hanover. This is still going to look like the same project. It's still going to feel like the same project. Nothing really changed. It's just when we started getting into reviewing the project and finding it, we've identified, and we tried to work with Rockworth on finding some entrances on there, and because of its closeness to the street, and they had gone so far down this path already, one of the things is that it was just, we couldn't get entrances onto the street that wouldn't go into the right-of-way, which we can't allow. The city can't allow that to happen. But we also wanted to make sure that there were opportunities for people if this needed to happen at some point. So if this is approved, Rockworth would have to go back to the Architectural Review Committee to make sure that they are meeting all four of these standards to allow them to move forward with their building permits. The other parts of this were, I didn't want to add a lot of pages, so we actually reduced the, you'll notice in your packet number 22, there was a whole laundry list of design things that we weren't allowed to regulate. Instead of making sure that we're always following that in state code, I just referenced the state code so that if they go in and say, oh, you can't now regulate, I don't know, a cornice on a building, we don't have to come back and update the code and say, we can't regulate the cornice as well. So I just cited the code and said that there's a list of them and it's in that. So it's updated to the right section because last year they decided to randomly renumber the state code. So with that, we sent notices to affected entities and posted on the city and state public meeting websites. And findings, we find that updating these sections of the form-based code cleans up erroneous errors and allows for flexibility in the development of multifamily projects. Continuing to review and update the development standards furthers the city missions, has been reviewed, and it does not conflict with anything in the general plan. And so we are making a recommendation to forward a recommendation of approval to the city council. And I'm happy to start taking questions.
So can we negotiate over this .05 number? I feel like it makes biking an afterthought. I mean, if we have, like I said, my example, 100 units, 2 bedrooms, we're talking 10 bikes for the entire thing. And then you just shove that in a corner, you never think about it, especially for something specifically downtown for this. So, I mean, maybe we can drop it a little bit, but that seems like an overcorrection.
Aaron, in your example, there would be 10 bicycles with an available storage area? Is that, okay, so the storage area requirement under these numbers would mean only for 10 bicycles, right?
Because it's per bedroom, right? So if there's 100 units,
Yeah,
2
I
bedroom,
get it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You can, so this is, yes, you can, if you guys have a number in mind or want to talk through that, that is something that we could definitely take in if you do think that. So you said 100 units, right?
So it's 5% of 200.
How many units are in the development we're talking about?
140.
How many bedrooms, do you know that?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can find it. Oh, I can have the applicant.
This would be a
answer
great
too.
example for us to run the numbers through and look at how many, you know,
Just Nate.
Hi, Sarah Namelka. I'm with Rockworth Companies. And first off, thank you so much for serving. We really appreciate you guys. We have 140 units. Per the code as it states right now, we would be required to have 90 bike stalls, which is an insane amount. The square footage that takes up would take up all of our downstairs amenities, storage, parking. It's a lot of space. How we currently have the site plan drawn, with this update, I believe we would be required to have around 25 stalls. And we are going to have that, if not more.
So how many bedrooms were in there?
140 beds. I can get you the bedroom count of ones,
100.
twos, and threes. Let's see.
Your phone will do that.
Let's see. Sorry, guys, I don't have internet, so it's just taking a second.
Oh, no.
140 units, half one bedroom, half two.
It's less than that. Oh my gosh, of course it's taking. We have 30 studios, 71s, and 42s.
About 150 bedrooms. So 75, yeah, that math checks out, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're negotiating the number here, what is an appropriate amount of bicycles? You don't think 1 and 2 units will have a bicycle? Sorry, we don't think 1 and 2 units will have a bicycle?
We don't, we've never seen that. Yeah, this
Okay.
number, so we were required to use the same number at a project that we worked with Chad on in Layton City, and our bike share is virtually empty. But then similarly, I have a project in Salt Lake that has a lower number, and we could have used double the spots. That project has 108 units, and I think we were only required to maybe have 5 or 10 bike parking stalls, and we could have used more, so.
So with this, you'll need, what, 8 bicycle stalls? Is that the math here?
I think that is the requirement,
We'll have 25.
but they're putting in 25.
So you're
But
going
we're
to,
changing the whole code here,
yeah,
sorry.
it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what you're gonna
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
what
for sure.
matters what.
Yeah, and I think that's what we want to make sure of, is that we're balancing, right?
So if we need to cut it by a third, it sounds like, then maybe we can look at that.
well, what she just proposed is 3 times of what would be required,
Yes.
right?
Right, but we're changing the whole code here.
No, I understand that. So the question is, what is the right percentage?
So that would be 0.15, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right about there.
I'm gonna have Chad talk
Yes.
at this for a minute too.
I think I would steer away from negotiation on this. This is, this is a standard that ought to be based on some type of measurement, something that we've done research on this. This was very clearly, from looking with the consultant, Zach has said this already, but this was clearly a typo. This was not, this code as adopted in other cities had that .05 standard. This was something that, whether it was proposed to you that way or not, that was something that we would have come forward with that other standard. As we've talked with our consultant, that's a reasonable standard. I want to go back to what Sarah said. It's about dimensions, right? So it might be easy to picture bike parking as, 90 bike parking all stacked together, leaning against each other in a corner space or something. But it's not how we look at these spaces. There's a dimension for a bike parking spaces. 2.5 by 6 feet is a pretty standard dimension for a parking space. You might be able to fluctuate that a little bit, but it's a dimension. So if we start to take that number and we multiply it by 90, it's around 1,300 some odd square feet of territory that we're taking up for bike parking. That's about the size of the room you meet in for. I mean, it's a little bit smaller, but not much smaller than the room you meet in for that, for your pre-meetings, generally speaking. So I just went and measured it because I wanted to make sure, but I thought that was about the size. So do we need to take up that kind of space for bike parking? bike parking is important. We want to encourage bicycle parking, but to create a number just off the cuff right now to say we're negotiating, I think is the wrong approach. If you want us to take this back and look at other cities, we can, but we have. We have looked at other cities. We're comfortable with this reduction. We think that, you know, if, let's say we had, you know, a townhome development instead of what's being proposed, with 3-bedroom units each, that's going to put an impact on those types of developments as well. So I think if you want us to take a look at it, what I would suggest is we divorce this piece from the rest of the text amendment. We'll take a look at it, we'll come back to you, but I would not recommend negotiating it right here, trying to figure out that number. It should be based on something real. It should be based on, this is what we've seen in other communities, this is the need. So that's right. We're fine with taking, we're fine with bringing this back to you. I would just say, don't try to figure it out right
In the
now.
same regard then, Chad, where did the .05 come from?
That's other cities. That's a number that came from, the consultant that worked
Yeah,
on
I looked for
Midvale.
that information. I could not find it.
We'll get that for you. We
Okay.
have found it. We didn't put it in your packet, but we have found that information. You can look at Midvale's code and find it there, but
Chad,
that's,
this might be an opportunity to think about it. I know it was a decimal error, but, you know, the question is, what are we trying to motivate as a city? Do we want to have people have convenience to the bicycle storage, or, and then alternatively, what would, and maybe Sarah could answer this, in her experience, do people just store their bikes in their apartments typically and don't use the storage even if it's available? So.
that's, I guess what I'm saying is, I would say if we're worried about this number, let us come back to you. Let's not try to do that right here. Let's figure out what an appropriate number is. We'll bring that back to you. We feel like this is good, but if you want some more research, let's do that rather than trying to say this is good. Because that's also a little bit arbitrary just to say we're going to do a third rather than .05. We have some backing for the point, and I understand. You want to see it? I get it. We can bring it back to you. But I also think, I've got a picture, I could email it. Maybe we'll make it available if you decide to take this part out. But the picture that I took in Sweden of a bicycle parking area, that I can show you what that looks like. It's a lot. 90 spaces is a lot of bicycle parking. This was at a train station, makes perfect sense there, but 90 spaces is a lot of bike parking.
Yeah, I'd love to see some pictures. I
I
don't,
mean, Chad, it would be a matter of how, let's think it through. Maybe it's a matter of how we scale it, you know, depending on the size of the complex and so on and so forth, so it doesn't seem out of proportion, is what you're suggesting.
I agree, but let's have that. We'll come back to you with those kind of things rather than trying to negotiate
So
here.
Chair, do we table this for another time? or-
I think we can divide the question.
I think that's the conversation we need to have. I think what Chad is saying is, we can't just arbitrarily make up a number because we feel like that's the right number.
Sure.
And on the other hand, I think we can determine that we probably think this number is too high. I think we probably all feel like the number's too high. Maybe some of us feel like the number's too low. And we didn't have the data to scrutinize these numbers, and we scrutinized that entire plan.
Okay.
And so I think we should just say, yeah, we need probably some more data. We can compare it to other cities, maybe look at, whatever the staff can bring us so we can make
Okay.
an informed decision.
Yeah, so what I would recommend is that, that we, if and when we move forward with the rest of the text amendment, right, that whoever makes a motion, that you take that, just in that motion, mention that we're taking that section
Yeah.
out to be reviewed at another time.
Yep. And I would think if, that number changed during our process, then I would say, okay, yeah, we just transpose the decimal,
Sure.
remove the decimal, but, I think that's a number we all looked at and approved.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Other thoughts? Peter? Okay,
So I think the move would be, correct me, motion to divide the question, separate the bike from everything else, and then vote independently on the two. And I think we table the bike discussion for now and then vote on the other stuff.
Would you say that's fair, Chad? That's fine. Yeah, have them motion to divide this up and then.
Table the one item and bring the other,
Yeah. That way we're not stalling the other stuff.
Exactly, yep.
So you're saying someone do a motion to remove the bicycle to a future meeting,
So separate the two, yes.
separate the two
Yeah, yep, so,
amendments?
I don't have,
I think you can do that.
So I may have a
This section.
dissenting opinion here, but I don't have a problem with either. I think it's fine as a correction of a typo and the number's fine
So let's vote.
as precedent.
The .05?
Yeah. The math seems,
I know it was an error, but it makes me think that we ought to there was so much detail associated with the FPC that perhaps, we overlooked this piece. But now that I'm thinking about it, hey, why don't we just take a chance to, opportunity to review it again?
I mean, I do remember, walkability and biking was like the point of, like, one of the points of doing this, right? And so, I mean, 10 stalls, minimum requirement, it's an afterthought. You shove that in the corner and you never think about it again. And you're telling me the units over on Vine, they're filled up, so clearly people are biking in the area.
I think it's worth looking at it.
And that's fine. We have no problem with
With
that.
a
We can,
little fine
we can bring
grain.
stuff in. Yep.
All right,
So I don't know if I'm gonna do this, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you need to do a public hearing first.
all right. So no public comment that we received prior to this evening, so I'll open this up for public comment for another 3 seconds. All right, we'll close public comment period and bring it back for either additional discussion. You want to talk a little more about what the motion is? And then
So-
we can make a motion.
I'll try to wing this. So I think how it should be worded is that somebody needs to make a motion to pull that section. I don't have the section in front of me, so I apologize. You probably have it in your packet somewhere. I think it's 080, table 8.2. Yeah, make a motion to pull.
Yes,
that-
8.2.
Yeah, that table 8.2, yeah, pull that from, oh my gosh, how would I word this, Chad? Do you have an idea?
So I think, I got the Roberts rules here. I think it's a motion to divide the question, right? I just don't know
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
how to
There you
word
go.
it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know Robert's rules better than I do.
Once in college, right? I got the
Okay.
rules up here.
Yeah, I think you can divide that up, and I would suggest just what you did, that portion we table till your next meeting, and we can come back ready to talk about it.
Yep.
Yes.
But as part of that, so you do the motion to divide the question, you vote on that, and then now we have two things, that one will have to motion to table, and then vote on that.
Yep.
And then another motion to approve, or whatever you guys decide to do on
Got
the
it.
other one. So we're gonna have three motions here. Okay,
I'm sorry to be a stick in the mud, but I would like to make a motion to divide the question and separate table 8.2, and to table it for further discussion down the road.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Any other discussion?
I have a discussion on the motion,
okay.
because we said we were going to make a motion to divide the issues and then a second motion to table it. But you just combined both of them, correct? I just want to make sure.
I think so. I'm just skipping a step,
Okay,
right?
that's,
So,
I'm fine with that.
Is that okay?
can I do that even, or am I skipping a step?
No, I
I'm
think
fine with that
that's
as
good.
long as we're okay with it.
Okay,
That's good.
okay.
I guess that's fine. Yes, I'm not sure. That's fine with me.
Can you repeat your motion?
Yeah.
So repeat
Okay.
the
Okay.
repeat the motion that was seconded.
If I do this right, okay, so I'd like to make a motion to divide the question and separate table 8.2 for further discussion by tabling the issue until the next meeting.
Regarding the bicycles,
Yes.
specifically.
8.2.
I second that, yes.
Yep, all righty. Okay. Have a motion,
Awesome.
second, and, yes, a
Okay.
roll call.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Kling, Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Aaron, you want to try again?
So I'd like to make a motion then to forward a recommendation of approval to the city council for the proposed amendments for everything except the issue we just divided. I don't know if that's the way to.
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll figure it
All right.
out.
I have a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
All right. I have a motion and second. Any other discussion?
Can I I just asked AI what it said, or what it thought. It said 0.5 spaces per bedroom, but we're gonna come back and talk about it.
Yes.
We tabled it.
So 0.5
All right.
or 0.5?
It's been tabled.
I have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? All right. Zach, call for.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Kling,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
and Chair Hacker.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
20 minutes late for the game.
What happened?
No, I think,
go quick.
You jinxed
I think this is good, and maybe, we'll come back to being 0.5. I don't know. It depends.
See what they find.
I've seen a lot of big transit, proponents, who've been totally stumped by who's riding transit, how many bikes. I see a lot of green bikes, a lot of other bikes downtown. Oh yeah, they're in the racks. So I don't have a big, a big belief that, bike transportation is on an upswing.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit biased too, because I bike and I've lived in apartments and I wouldn't store mine in a space. I would want it in my own space.
Correct.
So I think there's probably other people like that.
All right. So, that's your last agenda item, but I'd ask one more question. So, since you're leaving, Zach, I'll ask Chad, would we could expect to perhaps review that particular number for bikes?
It'll be
Yeah.
the next meeting, and I'll still be here for
Okay.
that,
All
probably,
right.
I think. Do you want me to?
So a better
Well,
number
we'll-
from the staff as to
Yes.
what that might be, 0.05 versus 0.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever research pictures you have, that'd be super helpful.
We'll get all those things for you, and I'm really glad you did that, because that means we get to have Zach at least one more time. So
Sorry, a little more work on the way out, I'm
that's
sorry.
right. I was prepared actually tonight to say some nice things about him, but I'm gonna wait to say those nice things till next time. So maybe you can think of some nice things too between now and then.
So Zach, we're
Gave
not
him a
gonna
gut
see you
punch
again?
today. What?
We're not gonna see you in another
No, you
meeting?
will see me at the next
Oh,
meeting.
good, okay. I'm gonna make up a whole list of things to challenge you on.
Okay.
For the record, can we take a vote on whether we think you should go or not?
Do we have a vote?
I mean, there's a ceremony, you can do a ceremony, I mean, I don't even, no, just kidding, don't do that. Yeah, it's not on the agenda, so you can't talk about
Legal has weighed in, okay.
it. You can do it after the meeting, then I don't care.
voting and it didn't work.
Yeah, so, yep,
All right,
okay.
you want to talk to you as well about leaving?
Yeah, I kind of briefly mentioned to David, it's official now, the loan was approved, we're moving to Salt Lake, genuinely sad. We'll still own property here in town, but I don't know what the exact rules are. I'm happy to cover for as long as needed until replace, or I don't know exactly how it works. I love this, I'm gonna miss it. But I wanna do what's right, of course. So just let me know how long I can stay, or if, as soon as I move out, I'm done, I'll follow the rules.
What I would recommend, for that is send, us a formal email letting us know when you're planning to move out, and then we can tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this all happened in the last 4 days, so I wasn't
Same.
gonna tell until it was official. Yeah,
Same
yeah.
friend.
Do any other commissioners like to leave the commission?
No.
While we're here tonight?
No.
Okay.
No.
Jake?
Jake's thinking about it.
All right.
I mean, I was thinking someone could do a coup.
Could be fun.
Any other information for the commission?
Nope, we will have a meeting on the 2nd, so let me know if you're not gonna be there.
All right.
You all
David
better
has
be there.
something.
Oh. I was gonna ask you something, Chris.
Well, while they're discussing, Alicia and Sarah, thank you for helping us modify our city code.
Yes.
So, thank you.
And I will not be here on the 2nd. I'm sorry.
Rude.
Is it July 2nd?
Yeah, it is.
Is that,
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
At 6.
That should be okay, I think. I think we'll be okay.
Zach?
Yeah.
You initiated, to your credit, a very interesting project the last time we met with regarding the missing middle in our zoning. Do you have a successor to continue to develop that, or is that gonna die with your exit?
It's not dying because it's on a moratorium, so I am deep in it. I'm gonna try, that's pretty much my goal for the next 2 weeks, is that I will be writing furiously, to have something, done. So, yeah, there's that. There's other things that I'm working on that I'm trying to find off ramps on, so here's who's gonna be taking a lot of it, so.
Sounds good.
For the record, I will be coming back from Lake Powell on the 2nd, and there is a chance I will not be here. I will not know till that day, but you cannot count on me being here.
Okay. So that means I'm down 2, so. Don't make me cancel the meeting, my last meeting, okay?
Look, I've missed like very few.
Yeah, I know, I'm just,
Wait, we need to have some sort of pizza party, don't we?
it's fine,
Pizza or treats?
nothing.
Or something.
We're doing something.
It's fine. I will already be having treats that day, I think.
Heard Zach likes clowns.
Sure, come in as a client. That'd be great. I would love to record that and put that on the YouTube.
All right, we're degrading
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Any other business? I'll.
Motion to adjourn at 7:27.
Second the motion.
All right, motion and a second, we're adjourned.
Thank you.